Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A side, A side, A side. A side official. No negotiation needed. Period. You already know. WCS the first in the building. What's good with it? Salute. If you on deck, hit the like button for me. You know what I'm saying? Do me that one. I appreciate you. We're going to get down to it. But first, I just want to touch on some things. Those of you that are in 2024's boxing fans, you know, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Welcome. And I just want to make it a point to help those of you that may be new understand that all content on here is not for your listening pleasure. Okay? If you're new to the game, please take deep breaths and make sure that you take your time while you're going from channel to channel listening to content. Because why I'm saying that is, if you're vaguely familiar with this type of platform, I don't want you to get contaminated early and feel some type of way about being deceived. And, you know, I just want you to take your time, you know what I'm saying, pay attention a little bit here and there, and choose wisely, okay? Because there's a lot going on with, you know, individuals who's pretending to be boxing media. You know, the ones that are actually journalists and frontliners. We can see this from 10 miles away, you know what I'm saying, with bifocals on, or we can see it up close because we understand how things work. But we have a lot of new individuals that have joined. I think a lot of them just graduated high school, you know what I'm saying, last quarter, and they're taking their hand in between time, whether they in college or sitting at home doing nothing. They're taking the time to get on YouTube and become boxing fans. And with this generation, it's so easily be influenced with these cats. You know, everybody's personality is different. So WCS is just telling you, hey, I'm giving you a heads up to be very careful on how much time you spend, tuned in to certain channels. And don't just be drawn in by the drama. I'm trying to get you to understand, look for substance, look for people who know or they're talking about a topic that interests you. You know what I'm saying? Not just having drama all the time. Drama is good, intrigue, suspense, all that. You know what I'm saying? It's good here and there, but not when it gets redundant over and over again. It just gets redundant. You have individuals over here that's unwilling to basically just be creative. Just do them. They're trying to break down other channels. They're trying to remove and somehow reduce certain channels from being on here to work hard to get where they're at. I never had respect for service members who stepped on the back of other service members just to get promoted. I never respected that because for me, I was never a part of the Good Boy Network. I just didn't feel it was warranted, to be in the company of those who was willing to step on people, stab them in the back just for attention. Those individuals may have a short flame or whatever. They may burn a little bit. It won't be long before they fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? It won't be long because they're going to burn themselves out. Watch what I tell you. Pay attention. They're going to burn themselves out because they're busy paying attention to other channels that they say that don't matter, but they spend so much time trying to remove them and report everything they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got going on in this era. We have a lot of bitch nigga shit. Seriously. Let's get to the task at hand. Ennis. He's fighting Cody Crowley next. Not Crawford. And the reason why I even put Crawford in the thumbnail is that it was so many people continuing to basically keep Crawford as a topic of discussion. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of this year, they kept on talking about why. You know what I'm saying? So the IBF has pretty much put it out there that they're ordering Ennis to face Cody Crowley. All right? For those of you that don't know, let me kind of break this down just a little bit. It says on Boxing Scene, the next fight for Ennis won't be so voluntary after all. The IBF has ordered the unbeaten welterweight titleist to next defend versus Cody Crowley. The two sides were actually summoned to enter a 30-day negotiation period beginning on January 31st. Okay, January 31st will be 2024, the first quarter of 2024 this year, okay? The reason why I'm mentioning this is that if you look at my title, what does it say? IBF orders Ennis versus Crowley next, Crowley, and local media didn't say much about, you know what I'm saying, much, but why? If this was ordered, you know what I'm saying, enter the 30-day negotiation period beginning January 31st, why I don't hear local media over there? The reason why this concerns me is that we're busy talking about fighters ducking. Well, let WCS introduce you to media ducking. You understand me? Media, I'm accusing them of ducking topics. Yes. Those desperate media that's out there ducking topics. Now, y'all know damn well this fight was summoned to enter a 30-day negotiation period beginning on January 31st. When the situation went down with Crawford and the way IBF did him, man, everybody was on here talking about it, from that side of town. They was talking about, they knew the information. Oh, the IBF sends a freaking request over to Team Crawford, ordering him to enter negotiations. Team Crawford sends it back. He's stripped of the title and so forth. Do you hear or did you hear anything about a 30-day negotiation period? Real talk. Did you hear any extra information? Anybody? Did you hear any type of data? Any type of communicative? You know what I'm saying? That was a $15.56 word right there. Did anybody communicate this to you? That Jerron Ennis was summoned to enter a 30-day negotiation period with Cody Crowley back in January, because all I kept hearing is the same BS about, Crawford not wanting to fight Boots. Crawford not wanting to fight Boots. And see, my whole thing is, you have to look at it in the sense of why they was continuing to talk about something that wasn't going to happen. I mean, that's called being clout rangers. Why were y'all still talking about Boots and Crawford when you know it wasn't going to happen? The article goes on to say IBF welterweight champion Jerron Ennis was promoted to champion November 28, 2023. Okay? So, let's go back to that moment where Crawford won, became welterweight undisputed world champion July 29th. You go August, September, October, November. His mandatory defense is due on before March 28, 2024. Okay? So, the IBF Championship chairman, Ortiz, stated to representatives for both boxers in a letter obtained by Boxing Scene, the leading available contender is number 3, Cody Crowley. As you probably look at the ranking systems, just because there wasn't a title eliminator, you know what I'm saying? It goes on to say negotiations should commence immediately and be concluded by March 1st, 2024. Where's the sense of urgency in reporting on this? I haven't heard any news. March 1st is on the horizon. It's coming very quick. And it goes on to say, if you are unable to come to an agreement for this bout within 30 days, the IBF will call for a purse bid. So what we talking about, a purse bid? Okay, I know I put out there, why isn't local media pushing out information and basically talking about and highlighting this as much as they did Crawford, ducking Ennis and all this other bullshit, right? Because supposedly when they was initially going to have this fight, when the information broke that Mario Barrios wants to have a baby, with his girl, then it came to Cody Crowley and they offered him, $200,000 to $300,000, and he didn't want that, So that fight, ran off the rails for a little bit. And now it's back, because even though I say, why didn't local media, YSM Sports is not the only media that's over there in the local area. So I salute YSM, who did an interview with Bozy Ennis about this like 6 days ago. And it was just speaking about the fight falling out. But the fight is back on, and it's been ordered, and there's no choice. It's no voluntary defense here. It's been ordered. So I think, as I look at it, it's boxing at the end of the day. And is it a fight I wanted to see? Nah, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I wasn't looking forward to no Ennis. Real talk. Since too much is not going on in 2024, will I watch the fight? Yeah. I got to watch the fight. I got to support. You know what I'm saying? But I have a question. In that same interview with YSM, Bozy Ennis said that Ennis and Barrios was supposed to be the main event on the March card. And that's where I had to blink my eyes a couple of times and think that I was a freaking magician and hope that comment just disappeared. He said Ennis and Barrios was supposed to be the main event. Now, as you're looking at the card now, the main event is going to be Tim Tszyu faces Keith Thurman. Ennis and Barrios is not bigger than Thurman and Tszyu. Thurman has a win over Barrios. What sense does that make? Who in the hell would have thought that that's a main event fight? And nowhere in hell Tim Tszyu would have been on the undercard of a Jaron Ennis when Tim Tszyu has defended his title and he has the name and everything else, right? Check this out. And Keith Thurman, former unified champion at welterweight division, has a win over Mario Barrios. So at that point in time, being the Ennis haven't fought either one of those guys, how would that fight would have been the main event on the March card? It wouldn't have made a lick of sense whatsoever. Now, I don't know if Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman would have stayed on that card and be the co-main event, but anybody, any matchmaker who has any experience on this level knows damn well that Ennis Crowley is not bigger than Tszyu Thurman. There's no way in hell. But anyway, moving on. Ennis is represented by his father and head trainer Derek Bozy Ennis, given the current lawsuit with the strange promoter Now Boxing Promotion. TGB Promotions, Tom Brown was named as the point of contact in negotiations for Crowley. The mandated fight flew well under the radar, particularly as the sanctioning bodies ordered what is supposed to be a final eliminator between Karen Chunikin and Harry Scaroff. As Boxing Scene previously reported, Wearsaman Boxing won a recent purse bid hearing to gain promotional rights. It is believed that Philadelphia Ennis, 31-0, 28 knockouts, was entitled to a voluntary defense, but he is instead locked into the ordered fight. Once again, it was believed, whoever was believing it, that Philadelphia Ennis, 31-0, 28 knockouts, was entitled to a voluntary defense, but he is instead locked into the ordered fight. Per IBF Rule 9 Charlie, both participants are required to honor the ordered title fight to avoid disciplinary actions handed down by the sanctioning body. Now, if you remember, Crawford was stripped of his IBF title for reasons that I believe there's in language that they felt that was in language enough for them to hurry up and make haste of stripping him to basically try to set up some type of fight with Ennis. Now look, Team Ennis, it's just too much sloppiness going on. It's just messy. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there's no order. I don't know what the heck to say. I don't know what direction or what decisions on how y'all go about doing things. What is the reason behind it? It's confusing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leave the WBO, go to the IBF, hoping and wishing, don't get the result that you want, right? Then you could have just stayed there and you would have been in the same position as Cody Crowley right now with Crawford. You would have been in the same position, right? You would have been in the same position as Cody Crowley. It just would have been patient, right? Or am I off with that? You know what I'm saying? Just would have been patient. Errol Spence would have dropped out. You would have slid right in there. And Crawford would have had no issues. You know, no avenue to go to drive away from it. You know what I'm saying? His options would have been he would have had to face you. You know what I'm saying? Because we know right now Spence wasn't going into the rematch. So you would have been just fine. But anyway, you all want to get with the IBF or whatever the case may be and get the title the way you did it. You know, be elevated. So with your elevation, now the IBF is ordering that you fight Cody Crowley. In the meantime, I'm still waiting for apologies for people to, you know, just basically apologize for wasting my goddamn time. This news has been supposedly out there since January. Very limited media from that area has really attempted to interview Jerron Ennis about this, because they've known about it. They know they was going in the purse bid. I mean, the information of the lawsuit, but now boxing promotion has been out, right? So why haven't local media over there been covering this? Like I said, YSM did do an interview 6 days ago, I believe, with Bozy Ennis, and he mentioned the Cody Crowley fight. But it was to the fact that it had fell out. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of made mention that, Ennis versus Barrios, if it would have happened, was supposed to be on the March card that's coming up. But I just want to make mention that it should be more individuals that really support Jerron Ennis, kind of break the news a little bit more. Try to get a little bit more awareness of what's going on with this guy, because it just seems like he's stuck, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like him walking around his fly traps all around. He's really trying to spar, and he got fly traps, you know what I'm saying, all on the bottom of his shoes and freaking his gloves and everything like that. I'm like, dang, man, when is he going to get together? Before you know it, he's going to be 30 years old, and he's going to be a one division champion, because he was this legal shit and all this, that, and the other, man. Like, goddamn. Now you got Cody Crowley, and I'm waiting on, the local footprint over there to rise up. To rise up like they the mandatory challenger in media, and speak more on Jerron Ennis. He's a good dude. Why is YSM the only one that's freaking covering it? Are y'all mad? Are y'all jealous of YSM? Because some of you cats are, the only thing I hear you talking about Ennis is that Ennis, and the snack program or whatever. But when it comes to these lawsuits and the legality issues that's going on, you don't want to talk about it. When it comes to him and what's really popping with the IBF ordering him to fight Cody Crowley, I don't hear anything from y'all. I'm just asking why. Why aren't y'all talking about this? This is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? This is a big deal. It goes on to say Ennis won an interim version of the IBF welterweight title in a 12-round unanimous decision over Chudikin last January 6th in Washington, D.C. An upgrade to full titleist came at the tail end of his ordered title consolidation bout versus the undisputed champ Terrence Bud Crawford, 40-0, 31 knockouts last summer. Crawford informed the IBF at the end of the negotiation period that he could not move forward with the bout due to contractually bound rematch with Errol Spence Jr., who's 28-1, 22 knockouts, and that one loss coming at the hands and the gloves of Terrence Bud Crawford. It goes on to say the IBF proceeded to strip Crawford of the belt, which left Ennis as a recognized major title holder. All right? Let me get to the chat right quick. Shout out to Arnold Brown in the building. First on deck, salute to you. Mr. International Toby Bartlett on deck in the building. Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. We got to educate these new guys before they get contaminated by these other channels. Talk to them, Toby. Talk to them. That's all I'm saying. We obviously have a new group of individuals who fresh out of high school. They're deciding what sport they want to pay more attention to. And every now and then you might see them in the chats over here. I think it was up to me. I wanted to go around and make sure that I put the word out there for them not to get complacent and stumble amongst some of these chats that's all about arguing and doing, and acting somewhat like they experienced in high school. You know what I'm saying? You might experience a bit of juvenility in these chats, and it may confuse you about where you want to go in life. You might find yourself just sitting there full of anxiety and anger, listening to these grown-ass adults talk about nothing all day. And before you know it, you was 18 years old, now you're 25. You haven't did nothing with your life just like them. Shout out to Lisa Bell's in the building. Check this out, Lisa. You might need to check. Okay, check this out. You might need to check who you have blocked. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you this, I deleted, cleaned it, sanitized it, and it's not me. It's not me. So me not seeing you right now is pretty much on your end, from my understanding. Because I cleaned up my whole deal. So I should be able to see your comment. Carlos is on deck. What's good? Shout out to Lisa Bell, the OG. What's good with you, though? Appreciate you pulling up. Carlos say Boost is going to look good again versus a lesser opponent. This would not help his status. Well, look at it like this, Carlos. Okay, is that Cody is undefeated, right? you have to look at it: 22 victories, 0 defeats, 9 knockouts. Now we can go his last 10 fights. I would say his last 10 fights. Out of those 10 fights, I think he had like 2 knockouts when it comes to wins. Juan Gonzalez and Munoz Zavalla. So that's about it, But he is undefeated. He has no draws, none of that. He's a southpaw. So it'd be southpaw against southpaw, so to speak. So you're talking about 5'10", 72-inch reach. Not bad. Not bad. But we'll see how that all plays out. If this fight even makes it to the ring. You know what I'm saying? Jay is on deck. What's good with it, Jay? How you feeling, bro? Shout out to Big Blunts of Boxing, the GOAT in the building. Salute to you, man. But this is where I'm at with this situation. Like, you talking about not receiving information, busy talking about something that's not going to happen. This is a perfect example, y'all. This is a perfect example. Back in January, at the end of it, the word was already out that this situation was going down, that the IBF was ordering. But not too many people was talking about it. They busy talking about, Crawford, why don't Crawford do this, that, and the other? When he has a whole nother situation going on with the IBF. You know what I'm saying? If they can't come to an agreement, they go on the purse bid. You know what I'm saying? So, and once again, y'all stop talking about the Crawford fight. The Crawford situation, that should be out of your topic of conversation, and talk more about, the matchup between Ennis and potentially Cody Crowley. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be focusing on right now. Real talk. I mean, we can now put that to bed and focus on this Crowley fight. 2 undefeated fighters. You know what I'm saying? And Ennis looking to, get back in the ring, of course. And show the world that he can go in there and have a superb performance against Crowley. You know what I'm saying? Give him his first loss. Then somehow or another you can get the fight with Barrios or whoever you fight next. But just like Carlos said, Carlos believes, and a lot of other people are going to believe, that you're going in there against a lesser tier opponent. Now, I just don't have, I'm not throwing my hands up in the air for Cody, but I'm not calling him a ragu can either. I'm not saying he's part of the ragu household. I'm not saying that. I'm just looking for, Ennis to fight a better fighter. But this is, what the IBF is ordering. So I'm not really criticizing it that much. This is what he has to do. The only people I'm criticizing is the ones that's in his backyard that's not giving him the proper optimal support that he needs. They should be maximizing this. Okay, why don't you do a side-by-side, a juxtapose on how this fight is going to play out? Let's hear all the scenarios just like y'all was giving for Crawford and Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Where's all the media coverage? Why SM can't do it all himself? For real, why aren't y'all supporting Boots? He got a championship. You got a champion in your backyard. Support the man. He's going in there and fighting the one and only infamous Cody Crowley. Put your hands together and clap it up. Undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Put your hands together and clap it up. This is boxing, y'all. This is boxing. The time is now. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you tonight. Those of you that's in attendance and the millions watch. Anyway, don't let me get back. I was almost there, y'all. I was about to be an announcer for MMA. But anyway, if y'all can do me a favor and just, kind of put the word out there that Crawford is not going to be the one. Never was going to be the one. Y'all should focus on something else, like, Cody, and kind of really start talking and breaking down these fights. Let's hear some predictions, give some fighter breakdowns. What I want to hear from those individuals over there. I want to hear what they have to say about this fight and what it means to them that a champion, a Philly champion, is about to be ordered to face, a name that is not really perking people up, but the closer you get to the fight, maybe possibly, potentially, you know what I'm saying? It might give you a little bit of, huffing and puffing, you know what I'm saying? Sign. It might get a little better once the fight get closer. That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Real talk. I am. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, man. You know what I'm saying? There's something special comes to this fight. And, Ennis comes out victorious. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for Ennis to come out victorious in this fight. It's not a prediction. I'm just putting some positive energy out there from the South up to Philly. And I really want to see, Ennis go in there and show out. I haven't really seen him show out yet. I didn't think he showed out against Villa. I'm looking at him to show out and make that fight look like Cody doesn't supposed to be in there with him. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I want him to really show that he's in control, really. Even if you have to walk out to Janet Jackson, do it. Control. You know what I'm saying? Do that shit. Do that shit right there. God damn it. Stop playing. But I just wanted to let y'all know that part of it. I'm going to change topics, of course. A lot of people are talking about the fights this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? I thought O'Shaquie and Abraham Nova fought a pretty solid fight. Seriously. For the main event, yeah. I just felt like it was ebbs and flows in the matchup. Like at one point in time, it felt like Nova was taking over the momentum, but even the power shots that Nova was landing on O'Shaquie, it wasn't like he was landing them and Foster felt them, like it slowed them down a little bit. Someone was freaking bouncing off O'Shaquie's arm because he got some of the best defense in boxing. And some of us just, you know what I'm saying, it looked good as far as the activity, but as far as the meter of damage, it was very low. But I think mid part of the fight, Abraham Nova and both fighters per se was seeming to fatigue a little bit. But then you saw like in the seventh or eighth, Foster started to, I don't know if he called it second win, but he started to turn up the activity rate. And he was landing some good shots on the inside on Nova. Very good shots on Nova. Nova just couldn't break the code with being consistent with closing the distance on Foster, landing some solid shots. He'll land a shot on Foster, but it wasn't no power behind it. Like, I don't think it was anything that really blitzed Foster like we seen Foster hurt Nova. It wasn't no power shots out there to really hurt Foster, but Foster with that accuracy, you know what they say about timing, right? Timing beats power, man. And freaking Foster's timing, oh my God. his timing on the inside was impeccable doing some of those exchanges. He started to break Nova down a bit, you know, and yeah, hitting a knockdown late in the fight for a short, sneaky left hook. I think it was a left hook, and Nova went down. Like, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Where did that come from? I mean, it wasn't like he hadn't been hurt before. You know, in that fight, he had been hurt before. He just was able to, weather it a little bit better than he did when he was off balance. With his equilibrium, and he went up against the ropes. But the weird thing about it is Nova just lost control and started throwing a temper tantrum because he probably looked at it like, I blew it. I blew it. I don't want to say Nova should change teams. Something ain't there. It's not like it's a lack of intensity, because in the corner, man, they was telling Nova, man, come on, man. I mean, old boy was up close to Nova. Look, you shouldn't have to do that to a fighter. If he went to an intense training camp, you shouldn't have to do that to your fighter. You getting super close, trying to motivate them, trying to get Nova to change levels and come out there just a totally different fight. Bro, does Nova really need to get motivated like that? Does he need to have somebody in his corner to give him that boost? Seriously, I mean, he might be that guy, man. Because obviously it was a close fight. Nova knew it was a close fight. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I was sitting in that corner, I wouldn't want my trainer in my face that close. And then you're tapping me, on the chest. You got your hand in my chest. I don't need that shit. I don't know. When I interviewed Nova, I mean, seemed like a strong. He seemed like a strong minded. I've seen him fight before, but he seemed like, he was a pretty strong fighter, in shape. Felt confident about himself, and that was prior to the Robisa Ramirez fight, and he was stopped in that fight, but it was a pretty decent fight up to then. Something else is up with Nova, bro. Like, you can't have a full blown mascot in there, and you taking losses like that in big fights. You had a championship fight with Robisa Ramirez, and then you have another championship fight for the WBC title against O'Shaquie Foster, and you lost both of them. Now, I'm not saying Nova is done by any means. He just need to really have a freaking sit down with whoever's going to be in there in his corner and find out what's wrong. That's all I'm saying. Nova had no gas tank. He got tired against Lopez. They're going to have to figure that out. His trainer's going to have to figure that shit out. For real. Because, he's young. He should be able to go in there and fight. He should be able to keep up the pace with these guys. And he's not able to do that. And then in some of the exchanges, he just get wild. He just get wild, and those shots, those looping shots he was throwing, they're not going to be as effective as if he would tighten them up a little bit. But y'all saw the results, man. Congratulations to O'Shaquie Foster, for real. Congratulations to him. He got that shit done. I like Foster as a fighter. I'm not gonna lie. Hearing his backstory and all that, I like O'Shaquie Foster, especially when his last fight, that was a rocky moment for both fighters. That was a rocky moment. Real talk. Hold on for a second. Okay. I try not to reiterate certain things, but um, shout out to Shushu Carrington, aka Bruce Carrington. He channeled his inner Mike Tyson. I ain't gonna lie, he nailed the shit. He nailed his inner Mike Tyson Friday. Shout out to him, went in there and got the stoppage. Shoe York. I guess what they calling it, Shoe York now. They putting a lot of promo behind Shushu. He got his I guess his alias now, or a tag that he's using, Shoe York. Got the merch out there. Y'all be sure to check that out. He continues to win. Exciting fashion. So check him out. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to Shushu for another knockout victory. And, just like, Keyshawn going in there and getting a stoppage too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them guys. I'm trying to pull up this right quick. Hold on for a second. Yeah, shout out to Delonte Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Tiger Johnson. He got a TKO victory in round 1. You know what I'm saying? Against Paulo Gardino. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiger Johnson, man. Went there, got another stoppage. What was the other fight that I wanted to The card in general was a light card. You know what I'm saying? Over there at Madison Square Garden Hulu Theater. It was some fighters on deck. Teofimo Lopez was on deck again after his phenomenal performance against Jermaine Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him being on deck supporting. Like I said before, when it comes down to the news that's out there, certain fighters are being talked about more than others. And I feel that, I really don't want to talk about the same freaking topic over and over again. The UFC has a fight card coming up. I'll talk about that on another live. But I do want to see what's next for Terrence Crawford, because I was going to talk about Jared Anderson and his next opponent. But I'll say that for another day. He's stepping back in the ring in April. You know what I'm saying? I'll say that for another live. But I do want to know what's going on next with Terrence Crawford. I don't feel the need to continue to talk about the Deontay Wilder situation. Yes, it's messy. Yes, I think it's a distraction to him, locking in and coming back in here, avenging his third loss. The last loss he had against Joseph Parker. So I hope he gets that shit straight. But with Bud Crawford, I'm curious to know, who he's stepping back in the ring with. I really want to know what's going on with that. And also, Edgar Berlanga. I'm very curious to see if Edgar has improved any of his skill set, because in my opinion, he was scaring me a little bit for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? I want to attend the Edgar Berlanga fight, but I don't want to come there and risk him taking a chunk out of my shoulder or freaking trapezius muscle or the back of my neck or even gnawing my fingers off. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Because he showed he has that cannibalistic instinct about him. So I have to be very careful. I have to make sure my insurance is up to date. I have to make sure the VA will cover that. You know what I'm saying? Any skin grafts I need. I want to go see Edgar Berlanga fight. I do. I want to see, if he's improved any and all that, Moving on past him. I'm looking forward more and more now to the Haney Garcia fight. I'm really looking forward to that. I hope both of them make it through training without any injuries and going about, stepping into the ring to settle the score. Ryan Garcia, man, is like do or die for you, bro. And the crazy part about it is like he only has one loss, and that's with Javante. But if you go in there and get another loss against a big name, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna look good for you as far as being a true contender now, because with all the social media stardom, you're telling people that you can have all this support, and it can be a little bit too much for you. You know what I'm saying? You have all these other sponsorships. You have these designer, brands supporting you, but yet you can't become a legitimate world champion by being a big name. It's kind of do or die for Ryan, especially with Haney. Especially with Haney. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Haney. You cannot go in there and allow Haney to make you look like Regis Prograis. You can't do it, buddy. Shout out to Al Money on deck. Salute to you. Shout out to Jessica the Queen in the building. Dion Washington on deck. What's good with it, Dion? Canelo has shot down Benavidez in 2004. Hey, one thing I know is that I don't have any defense, because I was on live the other day speaking as if Canelo Alvarez was actually going to fight David Benavidez. I actually thought that, he's finally stepping up and fighting the WBC champion that he never beat. But yet they're talking about he has other names on the list that he will probably fight. And more so, people excluding Crawford being one of those names and David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So at this point in Canelo's career, is that considered a duck, or is it considered just boxing royalty? Him being in a position to make those decisions, to turn down fights like that. I don't know. What do you think, Dion? I know you're not a real Canelo fan like that. You're not too favorable of Canelo. Is this considered a duck? And if it is, who is he ducking? Does he really need to fight David Benavidez? I think it is. The more and more I look at it, I told him, I said, yeah, I would like to see him fight David Benavidez, but also I would like to see him fight Crawford too. Just because, him moving up a certain amount of divisions, there's been other fighters that move up 2 divisions. Let's not act like we didn't complete grade school. 2 is not that less of a value than 3. All right? Unless you start adding some commas in it. Then we're talking about a whole different monetary value. But let's not act like 3 is a substantial jump from 2. It's not. So somebody moving up 2 divisions and doing it, and what's the difference? So neither one of them are a potential candidate for Canelo Alvarez. And I think, and I'm just gonna put it out there, I believe with Canelo Alvarez, they don't have the money for him. So that's why he's saying he ain't gonna fight Crawford right now. That's why I believe he's looking at it like, yeah, it's a high risk, but he gets nothing from it. Yeah, you sure. You do get something from it. You get to challenge yourself against another fighter, a top-notch pound-for-pound fighter, and you get to prove to the world that's not your kryptonite, Canelo. You're talking about a very competitive pound-for-pound best. You can prove that to people that he doesn't belong on your level. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You can prove to the people that he don't belong on your level. But don't act like you have this mental blocker up there now just because you fought Jamel Charlo and say, you know what? I'm not fighting any other undisputed fighters no more. Because if they're from a lower weight class, they don't have anything to offer. Yeah, they absolutely have something to offer. They absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So Benavidez has something to offer. That is a top contender in your own division. He's a big guy. For you to go in there and fight Benavidez and show the world that yeah, all the hype that you was putting behind Benavidez, okay, let me fight him. No, I don't think Canelo is trying to at this moment. He doesn't seem like he's trying to. Whether it's Jamal Charlo or not, it's okay. Whatever. Boxing is in a conundrum right now. I ain't gonna lie. Dan on that WC salute and shout out to the hottest chat. Salute to you, Dan. Canelo been, oh, God dang. He said Canelo been a B. Benavidez or Bivol. Baturviev winner, only fight. Respect. Yeah, man, a lot of people like to see him get drug. I wouldn't say drubbed. A drubbing. I believe if Canelo fought Artur Beterbiev or Beterbiev, right, it would be a drugging, right? I don't want him to take that fight. As far as Bivol, I don't even have him in the conversation right now, to be honest, because he has a whole nother fight coming up, and I don't think Canelo beats him in the rematch unless Bivol want to stop, but Bivol want to drop down to 168 and face Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, you have all these names that's popping up, but yet we still haven't got a list from PBC yet. We still looking for potential fights. What's next after March? You know what I'm saying? What's next after March? It's almost like it's a circus going on right now with media just sitting up here collecting information and then trying to write a script about it or write a storyline about the names that they have. Like, what are the big fights that's going on right now? I'm not saying that we haven't had some exciting wins to take place, but I'm saying where are the big name fights, man? Where are these people at? Where are they at? I mean, where's the spark? Where's that twinkle? We're looking for a big fight. We're looking for some names to come in here and set it off. That's when you miss, Tank not being on that March card. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if y'all looked at the training pictures of Gervonta, he look in tremendous, tip-top condition right now. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for some big names to come back, bro. I don't know what the hell going on up in the heavyweight division. All that buffoonery and getting cut. Man, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about the heavyweight division, bro. I don't want to talk about it. Real talk. I don't want to talk about it. But I will say this though. The 135 division, I do hear Keyshawn saying that he's the best at 135. And I said this long time ago that it's only a matter of time before Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson may potentially fight. I don't like when brothers coming in and telling me, oh, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother. I ain't going to fight my brother. Why wouldn't you for that money? Just like I think the Charlos will get paid the most money ever in their career. They rather fight for free in social media instead of lacing up and going through a fight camp and signing a contract to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? They'll make the most money of their career. When can we date back to two twins fighting each other? I know they said, oh, we promised mom that we'll never fight each other. Okay. Let's talk about that. So if you made her the promise, why y'all doing it for free and making a fool and misrepresenting and the family legacy or whatever you got going on, just tarnishing that by fighting out in public? Fighting in public. Your girls was fighting each other. If that ain't the biggest embarrassment, I don't know what is. So y'all might as well just sign the contract, bro, and stop playing around. You have your girls beat each other up. Y'all rather get arrested. Y'all doing all this other shit. And then, you want to talk about, oh, we ain't going to step in the ring. Y'all might as well get paid for it. Seriously, get paid for it, dog. Go ahead and get paid for it. Like I said, 135-pound division. I believe Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis is going to fight one time or another. I'm not pushing for them to fight. I think it'll be a good fight. And they shouldn't, sit up here and that's my brother type shit if none of them plan on moving to 140. Because if Shakur Stevenson win another title, right, he's going to be looking to try to unify for undisputed in that division. And at that point in time, I don't know where Keyshawn's going to be at on the ruler, but he's going to measure his chances and say, I want to fight Shakur Stevenson now. You got 2 belts. I want to fight you. You're the unified champion. And then you got Keyshawn calling out T.O. T.O., you did not think that I was going to let you get up out of this. Keyshawn calling out T.O. is absolutely grandioso. Is the fight going to happen? I have no idea because T.O., I can hear it now. What has he done? Get a title. T.O.'s trying to use the same, defense mechanism that Thurman used for Spence and Spence used to Crawford. You know what I'm saying? All of them, hey, get a title. And then out of the trio, the only one that ended up fighting each other was Errol Spence and Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But Keyshawn versus Teofimo Lopez, to me, would be an exciting fight. Keon looked very sharp, strong in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He went in there and broke freaking Pedraza down, got him up out of there. And he looked good doing it, man. He looked like his mind and everything was good. And then when T.O. came in there and had the performance he did, he almost tried to walk up in the ring and they said, no, we ain't going to do that. Don't do that. We don't want no fight breaking out. We don't want none of that. But WCS will put it out there. I would like to see that fight happen. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see them 2 scrap. All the talk, T.O. Fight somebody that's willing to move up to 140 pounds and fight you. He's not even in your weight class. You was talking about moving up and fighting Terrence Crawford at the catch weight. No, why don't you fight Keyshawn, who's moving up to 140 to face you? You don't have to use nothing about size. You don't have to make excuses about anything. You can just say, I'm fighting an Olympian. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting someone who's working his way to being a top contender. You have a belt. You need some excitement in your life after that Jermaine Ortiz situation. And the fan base is buying this. You understand me, Keyshawn? The fan base is buying this matchup. Hook, line, and sinker. They want to see you and Keyshawn Davis fight. Forget that Crawford stuff. Crawford will send you to the cemetery that night. We will be playing Boys to Men. How could I say goodbye to death knockout in the 3rd round? And we knew that this would happen, but no one stepped in to stop it. And we cry out tears until they dry. Yeah, you know what it is. We'll have to hit some Boys to Men. We'll have to hit some New Edition. We'll have to hit some shit, because that'll be over for T.O. fighting Crawford. So T.O. just stay within that range, 140 to 135. Now, one of the crazy parts about it is that it's really no excuses, that can be used, because T.O. don't have a lot of fights. He has his 20th victory now, and Keyshawn just earned his 10th victory. But we've seen in boxing where fighters have a huge gap within experience, but still they fight each other. Because that can't be the case. Keyshawn has fought several fighters that have way more experience than him, way more experience than T.O., and he's winning there and beat him. So this fight, I'm liking this fight. I'm liking this fight because it won't be as lopsided of a beatdown as if he was stepping in through the ropes against that Omaha Monster. You feel me? I think this more of a competitive. It deals with more equal ability when it comes to the odds, the betting odds. You know what I'm saying? Because he go in there with Crawford, he's gonna be like a 50-1 underdog. You know what I'm saying? It might be 83.5 underdog, 83.5 to 1 underdog. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, dude, nobody's gonna pick you to win. But with Keyshawn Davis, the odds will be a lot closer, and y'all can both talk your trash. You know what I'm saying? And give us that energy we're looking for. Yeah, man, y'all need to make that fight happen in 24. Seriously. Come on, T.O. If you that much better than Keyshawn, show it. I think you that fighter. I think your experience and skill level, Keyshawn have to prove where he's at right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not automatically putting Keyshawn over Teofimo Lopez just because of, the performance he had coming off a mediocre performance. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying you get an opportunity to show T.O. that you can contend on his level and potentially go in there and defeat him. That's my point. That's my take in all that. Shout out to the News by Shot News Sauce Experience. What's good with it, brother? Team Tucker official in the building. Salute to you. Y'all definitely go check him out, man. The hottest in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? JBG on deck. Wrong. Dollars to potentially end your brother's life. Come on. So, shout out to JBG, whatever. To potentially end his life. So what you're saying, what I'm assuming you're saying is, they can't go in there and fight each other in a boxing ring and get paid. But Jermell Charlo can go up 2 weight classes and fight a fighter that's much bigger and heavier, who has way more experience in bigger divisions, that could have potentially did more damage to him than his brother could. Because his brother haven't really committed to being a 168-pounder yet. He fought at the catch weight against Jose Benavidez. So I'm not sure if you're just winding down from a great weekend of celebration. You're sounding a bit marshmallowy. You know what I'm saying? Real gooey. You're giving the Michelin Man vibe. If I touch you in your belly, the shit, I lose my finger, and you up there. Stop it. Stop it, bro. Please. Keyshawn versus T.O. should be a good scrap. I like it too, man. I like it too. Brooklyn in the building. What's good with it? Brooklyn say, I got Keyshawn UD. Yeah, that's one of those fights where you can't really say someone's going to get knocked out. But one thing I will say, if T.O.'s on his game, keep getting hit like that with T.O. Because T.O., when he's on his game with a fighter that's not, sweeping the outside and running and thinking, this is San Martin's freaking, I'm saying, 2.0. I can do what he didn't. I'm able to do what he wasn't able to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to fight his same style, but I'm going to get the win. No. Keyshawn is going to stand right there in the pocket and show T.O. that he can box on the inside and make it an entertaining fight. At least I assume that shit. Now, whether it go down like that, I don't know. But T.O. and Keyshawn's have to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? T.O. and Keyshawn have to figure that out. I mean, so much to the point where if they would even fight each other, because, T.O. is using that get a title type shit. He sound dumb because Keyshawn is not even 140-pounder. You know what I'm saying? He's not even 140-pounder. Real talk. He's not even 140-pounder. He's willing to come up to your weight division, but you're telling him to get a belt. You're no longer at 135, but you're telling Keyshawn to get a belt first. So let's just say he get a belt at 135, right? He get a belt. Him fighting you at 140 once again will make no difference whether he has a belt at 35 or not. Why you even mention it, bro? Keyshawn gave Tio and his dad good work, so Tio better make that fight. Rumors say Keyshawn KO'd his dad in front of his dad. Well, I don't know too much about, the old the backstories and stuff. I don't really get into the rumor mill of all them sparring sessions, because I've seen some sparring sessions with my own eyes, right? And then I watch people get on here and lie about them that wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even there. Just like, Crawford getting buzzed by Brian Norman. They wasn't even there. But people up here trying to say Crawford was dropped all because they don't like him. He wasn't dropped. But it's people that wasn't even at the sparring session and that was trying to put false word out there that he was dropped. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I mean, the shit never stopped. But I get where you're coming from. Information is out there. This is what you're hearing. You're hearing Crowley mention sparring. It's just the same freaking how I'm putting it. This is the same packs per se. The same pack of names, man. Crowley, Tank, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. I mean, all these guys is talking about sparring. Who did what to who did what to and all that. Now, finally, out of these names where, I guess Ryan Garcia defeated Devin Haney several times in the amateur, and Devin defeated him several times. Now, finally, we can put all that to rest, and they're gonna fight each other. Supposedly, it's gonna go down somehow, some way. Supposedly, now, okay. We're gonna keep hope alive. God damn it, we're gonna keep hope alive. To Modern King Boxing in the building. What's good with it, Ron? Very realistic fight. Keyshawn Davis versus Lopez. Young and greedy fight matters. Yes, sir. Who do you got in that fight there, MKB? You know what I'm saying? Who you got? Who you think Tio fights next? I have no idea, because I'm kind of still waiting. I sent my search and rescue team out there to see if Subriel Matias is going to be in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? Because Tio kept mentioning that Matias turned down the fight. But now that he's signed, you know what I'm saying, over there with, you know what I'm saying? I'm curious to know what's going on with Matias. Are we going to get the Tio fight? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way he looked his last fight, people will say, okay, we definitely don't have to worry about that type of style giving us that elevator type music, because Matias is going to be right there in his face. I like that fight. Tio kind of made a mention that he was interested in fights. I mean, Tio made interest that he was interested in fighting Matias. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see that fight. Unification bout too. Come on, unification bout, and then, of course, whoever wins that, you have potentially, the WBC and the WBA. Whoever wins that fight between Cruz and Garcia, that winner fights, either the winner between Matias and Lopez, or the Haney winner, the Haney Garcia winner. You know what I'm saying? And then we may potentially get a unification bout for Undisputed again. Both fighters having 2 belts. And we get Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor all over again, bro. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney may potentially fight for another Undisputed. It may be somebody, similar. Subriel Matias might. I don't see Rolly Romero being that guy. I don't see Isak Cruz. But, Subriel Matias might, or Teofimo Lopez. The 140-pound division, is hot right now when it comes to champions and potential fights that may present themselves. I like it. I want to see what Matias is doing next, bro. I want to see how he looks against Liam Parham. If he goes in there and stop Liam, definitely I want to see Teofimo on that fight, because Devin is already locked in with Ryan, Lion, and Garcia. Garcia. Banks, try this for instance. If you find, I have another page out here, right? It's wcs.edu. It's for educational purposes only. On that, I have a alternate freaking English tutorial, called Ebonics. Please, just go out there and check it out. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you can come back and reinsert your freaking comment, because I don't know what you're talking about. I can't put that together. MKB said Crawford should not chase Canelo. Kings don't chase. Crawford is cemented OG. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. But we can't sit up here and say Kings don't chase. You know what I'm saying? Kings don't chase. Because if another king want to come in your territory and take over your throne, what do you have to do? You have to defend it. You know what I'm saying? In those type of times, if a king didn't want to accept the orders of another king, they fought. They had their armies fight one another. And this, we talking about combat sports, is king versus king. I don't think he's chasing Canelo. Why would you say he's chasing? Because he made it perfectly clear he wanted to fight Jermell Charlo or Canelo Alvarez. Jermell Charlo made it perfectly clear that he loved sleeping in a whole tub of Charmin. You know what I'm saying? He made it perfectly clear that once he got the chance with Canelo, he was the subordinate. You know what I'm saying? He was the subordinate, and he was going to adhere to all of Canelo's orders. And that's what he did, like a good old little boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that Crawford is chasing Canelo. At this point in time, him being the older fighter, I look at it like he's trying to go for the top dog. I can see if he was chasing somebody that didn't have the stature of a Canelo Alvarez, but no, he wants to fight the top dog. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, MKB. You know what I'm saying? I like Keyshawn Davis, but I respect Lopez more if he could ink out the win. And I want it to be one of them good fights. If Keyshawn is planning on coming up to 140, I want it to be a good fight. I don't want him to basically come up and feel that the weight was a little bit too much for him to come up, 140, because, T.O.'s going to be the bigger fighter in there. And like I tell people, let's not get it twisted. T.O., he still has something. You know what I'm saying? I know Roland Romero has been on record and saying T.O. only got like 2 more fights because psychologically there's some dilapidation going on. I don't know how true that is, but I would like to see T.O. fight either another champion in his division or Keyshawn Davis, because, Keyshawn got some buzz going off calling out Teofimo Lopez. I like it because T.O. was busy disrespecting, Keyshawn's stablemate. And Keyshawn said, I want to fight Teofimo Lopez. I'll go to 140 and fight you. I mean, you can't sit up there and say, get a belt. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? Samar Warren, what's good? Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS certified stamp, the like button, and support the grind. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. One love to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in and supporting the channel, as always. I only say that because even though Crawford is 2-time undisputed, you still have to prove you can beat another ranked opponent in a higher weight class before you can get uplifted to convince the fans. Well, you know, I'm just saying, based off that logic, right? You can't tell another opponent that's a lower tier fighter than Crawford, who wants to step in the ring with Crawford, that if they consider themselves to be anything less than a king, right? You can't tell them, hey, kings don't chase kings. I mean, what signifies or stamp a fighter being a king? I get where you at though, MKB, for real. But all I'm saying is, it's some fighters that really haven't achieved what Crawford has achieved. They may feel that they're king. They might have one championship or whatever the case may be. But I believe your reference is the ones who's actually had the accolades, you know, that can walk around with the crown, heavy as head who wear the crown. I get it. I just feel in this scenario, Crawford isn't chasing Canelo. He's just, in boxing, a man what? The testament of a man is not doing comfort and convenience, but doing challenge and controversy. And all he's doing is just calling out Canelo because he's at the top of the food chain. Crawford's at the top of the food chain. So what's wrong with the top of the chain of command establishing one position? Who's the best? You know what I'm saying? It's one of them kings that's willing to move up several divisions to go up there and fight him. But yet, the one that's supposed to be the king, he's looking at it. It's a high risk and it's no reward. Man, come on now. We want to see the fight. Fans are the believers. You know, to be honest there, MKB, I don't know who the fans are. You know, from what we see on this YTC, there's an absence of structure. You know what I'm saying? There's no uniformity across the board. If you go back to my earlier lives, I made lives deaf to the YTBC because I said there was no such thing as the YTBC, and you don't hear people talk about it no more. You don't hear people talk about no YTBC. There's no such thing as a YouTube boxing community because it's not really cats out here that's uniformity, that basically focus on uniformity. That pretty much talks strictly about boxing. It's turned into a freaking circus, man. It's been a circus for a while, but it's even more. They've gotten more performers now. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot more clowns. A lot more, you know, acts that they deal with. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you might see 25 clowns come up in the intro, come out and introduce, you know, and wave to the people. And then the numbers of those clowns reduce themselves throughout. Why? Because they're going in there and putting on different suits and costumes. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't even know that that's what happened. You just say, damn, there's a lot more clowns out here doing the intro. They still around. They just putting on different costumes and they're giving you a show. That's all. It's not, it's just too much of a drama series is going on the YTC that you cannot say YTBC anymore because it's nothing dealing with boxing. It's just individuals just talking and trying to be clout rangers and become famous off the YTC. That's all. True Crawford is the top elite boxer with the skill set to offset Canelo. Yes, man, that fight will be very competitive. I don't think it'll be lopsided. I think the betting odds will be damn near 50-50, even though Crawford's moving up 3 divisions, you know, per se. Hey, I hope something happened while he's still unified champion. I hope something happened. Seriously, at this point, I hope something happens that he get a big fight. I'm not truly 100% believing Canelo Alvarez that he won't fight Crawford. I don't truly, you know, like, I'm not sold that he's saying I'm not going to fight Crawford. It makes no sense for me to fight Crawford. I don't believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to the queens on deck. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. But I really hope some of these names that's been in the conversation fight each other. I want to see it. I'm still waiting on Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? My search and rescue team is still, sending back data. They think they have it narrowed down to a certain proximity, but I'm still waiting on Frank Martin to come back. Is he gonna fight for a title of 135? What we looking at, Frank? What we looking at, dog? Who are you gonna fight? How you gonna make your name? How can you build up a rivalry? And I think about it like this: what if we can build up a rivalry with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, just like he had with Triple G? It may only take 2 fights. What if we can just build up a rivalry? Canelo signed to fight Crawford for, and then there's a rematch clause in there. And this time we really get a rematch. Like Spence, it's going to be a lot of Mexican fans that don't believe Crawford can go in there and beat Canelo up because they just haven't seen it happen. You know what I'm saying? They just haven't seen it happen. They don't think Crawford can go in there and beat up Canelo. But what if he does? You know what I'm saying? What if he does? I'm not saying it's going to happen. But what if he does? What if he goes in there and beat up Canelo? He would have changed the sport again before it even heals itself. Crawford is responsible for the dysfunctionality, the freaking the fans being in disarray, hurt, mangled. You know what I'm saying? Psychologically destroyed. I mean, you can blame Crawford for that, man. And Crawford should at least came out here and made a public freaking statement to those who was absolutely, psychologically destroyed July 29th. They haven't quite recovered. I would have liked for him to do that. I listened to that dude that's delusional towards boxers, not authentic boxing on his body. Yeah, I know, man. I try to leave them alone because I just look at it like I have at least about 2 college credits in psychology, but that doesn't mean I'm going to waste those 2 credits on him. I'd just rather feed him a higher dosage and let him consume that every day to hopefully come back to his senses. That's all. That's all I can say. The stuff these guys, look, check this out. This is another perfect example as to why I denounced the YTBC back in the day. Today is a perfect example on how these channels just create narratives. They tell straight up lies. They tell straight up double serrated edge lies. And they sit up there and do it with a straight face. And they want people to believe they know about boxing. They just lie. Dog, they just sit up here and lie. And lie. They say that's what. Just think about this. We in 2024, right? It's willing to go through gimmicks. Now, let's say Showbiz, for instance. Showbiz and how he go about his channel, he's pretty spot on with his personality matching up to what he does. And he's been doing it for a while. He's been doing that shit. He'll get up out of his seat when he say something that he think is funny and come sit back down. That's him, right? That's him. But what about all you old niggas that y'all are following each other, and y'all sitting up here just making all these expressions like y'all in middle school or something, like you just found out that, hey, I'm going to the best daycare. Oh man, I just can't wait to get to the after school program. I want to take my phone and take me some selfies and shit. We have grown, old, decrepit men sitting up here making goofball freaking thumbnails with their picture. Don't nobody want to see y'all, dog. Don't nobody want to. Look, you niggas want to play the game like you mad at each other, but yet you working with one another. I'm just saying. It's too much. Dragon on deck. What's good? What's good? Appreciate you, man. I'm just saying that stuff right there with people saying the YTBC, the shit don't exist. I shut that down a long time ago. I said death to the YTBC. It doesn't exist. It never did. You have, just look at it. Once again, 24, y'all. You have individuals who believe that they would do this for another 5 years, and to think they would have moved to needle just a little bit more in being some type of pioneer or trendsetter to this social media platform. 5 more years of the gimmicks, and you believe that you're going to move the needle and give us something special? I don't see it, man. I don't see y'all going to look back at this shit. Y'all going to be, oh, I can't believe I did that. That's why a nigga like me, I stay off camera, because I'm doing shit off the camera too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to y'all, but I don't need to be on camera like that unless I really want to. But, you got dudes in their 40s, their 50s, and they're really trying some goofy ass shit. How much more subscribers and viewers is they getting? You know what I'm saying? What is the cheat code? What's going on here? Does anybody know the cheat code to actually have a clue of what's going on YTC? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yep, 2024 is not looking good. For real, man. It's looking crazy right now. I feel that 140-pound Russell should just move up to 147 pounds and challenge Boots for the IBF and let that rivalry develop. That would bring excitement in the division after Bud leaves 147. Well, I feel you on that, Samad. I feel you on if I didn't think he would be blackballed. Somehow the Russells are being blackballed. You know what I'm saying? And they're not able to get fights like that. Who wouldn't want to see that amateur rivalry blossom into something on the professional ranks? Who wouldn't want to see that, bro? I'm all for it, man. I'm all for that. If we can see that play out, I'm all for it. But it seems like they can't get no freaking fights. Talented as hell. People used to complain about Gary Russell when he was a WBC champ, fight once a year. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know how long they're locked in over there, but I would like to see them sign with somebody else. How long are y'all locked in over there, bro? Do y'all have a lifetime contract? Like, I mean, are y'all almost at the end? I want to see Gary Antoine Russell shine, man. I want to see Gary Antonio Russell shine. I mean, these cats are not. That's a good. It'll be good to build up a rivalry like that, but it's all about them getting the fights, man. That's all. I would love to see that. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see, but you also got to think about what does it take for a rivalry to build upon a rivalry, though? What does it take? Because Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, their dynamic was damn near perfect. They both had this name. They had this stigma. You know what I'm saying? Gennady Golovkin was this robot, this machine. Canelo was this crafty, slick, Mexican, tough, boxer. You know what I'm saying? That they had this freaking. I mean, you couldn't tell nothing. Canelo only had one loss on his record, the Floyd Mayweather. Nobody cared. But when they went to that draw, and then went back and Canelo beat Gennady Golovkin convincingly, then to leave no doubt. That's what we need to see. We need to see 2 competitive fights in 1 and 2. And then he turned back around 7 fights after the rematch, I believe. He came back around and gave Gennady Golovkin another fight. A waste of my freaking life, but Canelo gave him. Maybe Crawford need to add a G to his name. For real. Maybe that would do it. He doesn't have a G in his name. Maybe he should take Crawford and remove the C temporarily and put a G. I guarantee he'd get a Canelo fight then. Crawford. What did you say? You talking about Terrence Crawford? Crawford. Huh? Is there a G in there? Yeah. He changed it. It's Terrence Bud Crawford. Hey man, let's get this fight. Canelo. He has a G in his name now, Canelo. You know how you like G's now. You love G's. You fought Triple G 3 times. The third time there's really nothing in it for you. You did it anyway. But Crawford put a G in his last name. Just for you, Canelo. Okay, let's do it. He showed me. He's willing to go to the extent. So his name is Terrence Bud Crawford? Yeah, Crawford. No, let me get this straight. You're not saying Crawford. You're saying Crawford. Crawford is Crawford. No, you're confusing me. No say, senor. And so you say Crawford or Crawford? Crawford. Oh my God, man. Damn. Jeez. You said Crawford? Crawford? I fight him now. He's Crawford. Yeah, Crawford is Crawford. Oh, okay, Crawford. I like the sound of that. The C, not so much. The C, no, not so much. But the G, I like Crawford. Oh yeah, I like it. Let's make this fight. Let me get in contact with the right people. Let me call Al Heyman and say, hey, is it true? Let me show me paperwork. I want to see paperwork. He sees Crawford now. But people, we'll wait and see if that happens. Real talk. We'll wait and see if that happens. Well, we do have, the 154 pounds. I got to give another big shout out to Charles, Conwell, you know what I'm saying, who just signed the Golden Boy. He's been out the ring since 2022. I look forward to Charles Conwell coming back on deck. No? Yeah. I'm looking forward to Charles Conwell getting back in the mix of things at 154 pounds too. You feel me? Jamal Charlo, wherever he's at, y'all keep your stay prayed up that he makes it back to the ring. You know what I'm saying? Stay prayed up. That's all I can say. But besides that, people, appreciate everyone for pulling up. I have to bounce. As always, I have godly duties to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Godly duties. In the meantime, I just ask that you all continue to stay educated in the sport of boxing, educated as human beings and adults. And you too, be very, very careful about jumping in and clicking the volume on some of these chats. Please don't do it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have the option, if you click the listen, to unlisten. Okay? Okay? If you feel like it's something that may be brainwashing you or causing you to have excessive headaches or migraines, be very careful. Okay? Some of you that's new to this. Also, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side Official. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.